We bring you the latest in the world of sports. I'm Paulo Del Rosario.
We give you the conversations you want to hear from your favorite icons and athletes. I'm Diego Dario, and in tonight's Game Plan, we'll break down the NBA's biggest signings in our segment called Supermax or Bust.
We'll also chat with Pinoy rider Troy Alberto after his amazing podium finish at the International German Motorbike Championship. And we'll take you to the heart of volleyball for tonight's PVL segment, BTS with the Army Black Mamba. Buckle up, sports fans. Let's get in the game. The NBA is no stranger to large contracts and big money, and recently we witnessed the most expensive contracts being signed, and we couldn't help but get our nose in it in a new segment that we will call Supermax or Bust. Alright, so here we break down whether or not these contracts were worth all that money. Now joining us, because we like talking about money, is Mr. Hot Take, si
Yes,
Gelo
sir.
Vito, and a recent signee himself.
Ooh.
Not as much as Nikola Jokic, pero ito, Ray Suerte.
Pero
Ray,
max din yun kay
Max
Ray.
din yun kay Ray. Oo. Pero, you know, he's just the super part of that Max
Okay,
deal.
okay.
Oo, tama. Alright. Ray, Gelo, thank you very much for joining us. As you mentioned, we talked about all of these Supermax deals, whether or not they deserve it. Let's start off, Jegs. Who do you want to talk about first?
Well, let's start off with Mr. Hot Takes. Nikola Jokic, first 5-year, $264 million contract, richest deal in NBA history. Gelo, does he deserve it? Supermax or bust?
Oo naman, he deserved that super duper max. I mean, he's been a two-time and back-to-back MVPs, and he's been propelling that Denver Nuggets team ever since he came into that franchise. You know, he's scoring 27.1 points per game and 13.8 rebounds, and he's been dominating ever since.
Ray, ikaw naman, sa palagay mo ba deserve to ni Jokic o medyo exag yung deal na yun? Kasi grabe, richest deal in NBA history. It doesn't go to a Steph Curry, it doesn't go to LeBron James, it goes to Nikola Jokic.
I agree kasi ikaw ba naman nag-back-to-back MVP. So, tapos he came from di ba? Sobrang layo ng nung na-draft siya. And then he became MVP sa NBA. So I think he deserves that.
Pag nakikita mo si Nikola Jokic, Ray, as a player, as a hooper, lahat tayo, I mean, basketball players tayo, bakit sobrang galing niya? Ano yung impact niya sa game?
Sobrang kasi bihira lang kasi yung big man, center pa, na nagdadala ng bola tapos magaling pumasa, di ba?
Yeah.
So I think yun yung niya.
Yung special
Yung
niya.
special
Parang
niya.
Gelo Vito nakikita
Yun,
ko
yun.
kay kay Nikola Jokic
Sabihin ko sana pero wala nang bolaan muna. Okay. Jegs, let's talk about Devin Booker naman, alright? Pero I wanna ask Ray first. Ray, itong si Devin Booker, 4-year, $214 million deal sa Phoenix Suns, a 3-time All-Star. But some people might say, siya ba yung pinaka-importanting part ng Phoenix Suns? Does he deserve that max? What do you think?
I think hindi. But pero syempre magaling siya. Magaling pa rin siya.
Kitang-kita.
Pero iba kasi yung impact ng pagdating ni CP3, di ba? So, yung game niya parang umangat, ang laki ng agwat ng laro niya. So, I think hindi pa
Okay.
Di pa niya deserve.
Di pa niya deserve. Gelo.
I mean, gets ko yung point ni Ray Suerte, ni Ray, pero I think deserve niya yun.
Hinol name niya kasi pag hindi disagree.
Hindi, deserve niya yun. Ako feel ko, deserve niya yung 214 million. But, he needs to prove himself na kaya niyang manalo and kaya niyang mag-dominate ng walang katulong na iba.
Kung si Nikola Jokic, Gelo Vito, si Ray Suerte, yun yung D-book ng
Di-book.
Pinas.
So, pero naka-max to eh.
Oh, yun nga. So, deserve niya nga yun for me.
Naka-Air Max.
Air Max pala.
Well, itong si Devin Booker, kasi I think a lot of people will look at yung career niya so far.
Yeah.
And before CP3, nalala natin yung picture niya nung nag-career high siya, nung talo sila, pero
70,
nag-70
yeah.
plus
Exactly,
points siya. So, again, the mentality, the question mark is there whether or not he can do it by himself. Who's next, Jegs?
Next guy, let's give it to Gelo. Karl Anthony Towns, 4-year, $224 million contract. As we all know, Rudy Gobert is also in that same team. Do you think he deserves it, Gelo? One time pa lang sila nakakapunta ng playoffs since he arrived in Minnesota.
I really feel na he doesn't deserve that max.
Okay.
I just feel that may kulang pa. May kulang pa kay Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, I wanna see yung dominating presence niya with the level of Embiid, with the level of, again, the MVP, Nikola Jokic, and doon pa ako nakukulangan sa kanya. Yung gigil, yung diin, parang wala pa eh.
Pero di ba kailangan na bigyan ng max ng Minnesota? Kasi sobrang small market yung team na yon. They're not gonna get a star like a Jokic. They're not gonna be able to lure them there with a max contract. Di ba kailangan na nang bigyan ng max to?
I mean, hindi pa rin eh. I feel na he is small market team.
Yeah.
And I really feel na yung money na allotted siguro, hindi pa sila makakuha ng iba pang free agents na would really help them.
Ray, ikaw?
I think I agree with Gelo.
Di pa. Okay. Sige. So, not yet for both these guys on
So,
Karl
feel
Anthony
ko kay
Towns.
Anthony Edwards nila ibibigay yung max. Kung kayo yung GM ng Minnesota, bukang sa kanila nila ibibigay.
In the future.
In the
Pero
future.
may
Baka
rookie
pwede.
extension pa yun eh.
Okay, let's
Oo.
move on to the next guy.
Interesting to.
Ito, parang Gelo Vito talaga to. Kaliwete din. Zion Williamson, 5-year, $231 million contract with the New Orleans Pelicans. Gelo, this guy didn't play last season. Does he deserve this max?
Ako, hindi talaga. Hindi talaga. Not yet. Again, not yet. I
Okay.
mean, until he proves himself na he stays healthy, he plays 82 games and dominate kung ano yung nang ginawa niya before he was injured and before he left, I think he deserves.
Pangiti si Ray eh. What do you think?
I agree with him.
Wow! Okay, pwede ka mag-disagree ha? Okay lang yan.
Na bakit
Hindi,
ano nakita mo
kasi-
kay Zion? Ba't niya deserve yung max?
Kasi alam naman natin na di siya naglaro for how many games, di ba? So gusto lang natin makita na kung ano pa yung pwedeng gawin niya sa NBA. Kasi wala pa tayong masyadong nakikitang action sa kanya.
Pero nakita nga natin, I mean, he averaged 26 points per game, over 60% field goal. So,
Yung
ibang
potential
klase
niya
yung Zion Williams. Hindi pa siya 100%. Pero let's move on to the next guy, Zach LaVine. Ito, high flyer, parang Gelo Vito din. 5-year, $215 million contract with the Chicago Bulls. First round exit though, bumaba sila ng 6th place nung playoffs. Gelo, what do you think of Zach LaVine?
I think
Deserve or not deserve?
must deserve the DeMar DeRozan siguro yung max. Really.
Even at his age?
Even at this age. I really think na with the Bulls right now, you need that go-to guy. And yung nagiging go-to guy nila right now is not really Zach LaVine. Nagkagaroon ng glimpse, yes. But I really feel na si DeMar DeRozan yung magiging go-to nila. Parang secondary lang siya, but he's still there.
Like, he can't be the guy.
Yeah, he can't be.
Ray, we're out of time here, pero agree ka ba doon?
Yes. But hindi kay DeRozan.
Someone else pa.
Wala. Sa kanila.
Sa grupo na ngayon, walang max.
Walang deserve dun sa max.
Okay, no. I like that point. Okay,
Okay.
Mr. Hot Takes met his match with Ray Suerte.
I like
we
it.
all enjoy that. Guys, maraming salamat. Thank you very much for joining us here today. Ray, come back next time kasi pwede natin awayin to eh.
Gusto ko yung tandem
Next
ng
time,
dalawa.
next time.
Next time. Sure. All right, Jegs, take us away.
Alright, thank you guys. And after the break, we'll catch up with Pinoy rider Troy Alberto, fresh from his epic podium finish on the world stage of superbike racing. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game. Welcome back to the game. In the world of motorsports, Pinoy rider Troy Alberto has brought pride to flag and country on the global stage. After becoming the first Pinoy ever to compete in the International German Motorbike Championship, he made history yet again after a podium finish against the world's best riders. And tonight, we're joined by the hometown hero himself to talk about his journey to the World Championship. Troy, first of all, congratulations and welcome to the game. It's an honor to have a national athlete like you here on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, let's start it off. Before we go to what you did, history, I want to know your story. How and when did your love for motorsports begin?
Yeah, so it started with my father because he was really the first one to get into motorcycling. He was one of the first few motorcycle racers in the Philippines, and is one of the first Philippine champions.
So it runs in the blood talaga?
Yeah, it runs in the blood. And then from then it became my brother who raced, and then me. Yeah.
So, was it kailangan ba? Or did you choose it? Or did you feel na pressure ka to actually get into this?
No, hindi naman pressure, but when I was 4 years old, I had a bike in front of me.
That early,
They said-
4 years old, yeah.
They said to try, so why not?
And then when did you start racing, like competitively? Like at what age did you start that?
Yeah, I started at 6 years old.
6?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, I don't know what I was doing at 6 years old, sa totoo lang. But then obviously, this becoming a part of this professional competitive circuit, it's a big life and career decision. Another, it takes a lot of time. How did you get involved with this and start? When did you feel that you could make a dent dito sa circuit na to?
Yeah, so it was more or less just a natural progression. Started at 6 racing in motocross, and then at 13 I started to race on the circuit naman.
Yeah.
And then from there just kept improving, and then we noticed that we reached a level that was good enough for international, and then we just tried to make the step.
And that was a long journey from 4 or 5 years old to now. And how does it feel to not only be the first ever Filipino racer in the IDM, but to get a podium finish at 3rd in the second IDM Super Sport 300 race, Troy?
Yeah, I'm really proud. Of course, I feel like I'm carrying the flag everywhere I go. Every race in the World Championship and in the German Championship, it's a first for not just myself but for the country.
Yeah.
So I feel proud that I'm doing this for the motorsports community of the Philippines as well.
Did you when you found out you're going to be part of this competition, going into it, did you know that you were going to be the first Filipino, or nalaman mo nung nakapasok ka na?
No, I knew.
You knew,
yeah.
right? So how did it feel eventually once you actually got on the bike for the very first time in that competition?
Honestly, I was scared because coming from a small country like ours, you don't really know how well you're gonna do. And I was just happy that in my first year, I achieved great results in my opinion.
And for the viewers, the IDM is one of the most popular motor racing series in Europe, and the highest German national motorcycle championship, which started in the 1920s. So what was that like, Troy? Competing abroad, how different is the level of competition there?
Oh yeah, for sure it's really different. In the Philippines, our motorcycle racing community is not as big as it is in Germany or in other countries. So, for example, here in the Philippines, you might race against 2 or 3 fast guys. But there in Germany, in my experience, the whole grid of 30 was all really competitive. So it's just something to get used to, where instead of racing 1 or 2, you're racing 30.
Yeah. And when that happened, when you realized you were racing 30 people, ano yun, shock ba yun sa'yo? Or did you feel that, okay, this is exactly what I wanted, that a little mistake could result in a very bad finish, or you know, and the challenge is really there right in front of you?
No, for me it was shocking.
Oh, really?
It was
Okay.
scary.
Yeah.
It felt like I was in EDSA, but then going 200.
I like it. But Troy, you finished 3rd.
Wait, sorry. I wish pwede ako mag 200 sa EDSA.
Oh, okay. I mean,
yan yung goal ko. I don't know that's gonna happen
that's
ever.
possible, right?
Oh.
But yeah, Troy, you finished 3rd, right? But what do you think can you improve more? I mean, you're gonna have more races soon.
Yeah.
What did you learn from that experience?
Yeah, for me, I saw that riding-wise it was okay, but just getting used to racing with a big group of riders was something that I really need to improve on.
Yeah.
But I think when I start to get more used to this, then I can make a big step forward and hope to get some wins and do better, of course.
What did your podium finish tell you about yourself, especially in that type of competition?
For me, it confirmed that I was good enough to be where I was. Because, of course, in your first year, you're always doubtful of what your level really is, if you're worthy of being there. But I think that when I achieved the result, that I felt I was worthy.
And Troy, you mentioned that your dad was one of the reasons why you started motorsports, but your brother also, you competed with him in an early age. How important has family support been on this journey?
Yeah, for me, it's been everything. My father coached me at the age of 4.
Yeah.
He's still coaching me now. And then I train almost every day with my brother to improve for both of us. So he's also a really good rider. He's racing in the Asian Championship. And we both battle every day to improve.
We're looking at pictures of you, I think, as a child. I don't know kung last year lang yun, Troy. Pero, Troy, what's your message here to Filipino riders? Because obviously, with you becoming one of the pioneers, at least in this competition for our countrymen, other people might be thinking that could be me in the near future. A lot of kids might be thinking that as well. So what do you have to say to them?
Yeah, also in my experience seeing the other Filipino riders, I believe that there are many riders here who have the talent, and we just need to keep pursuing it and really pushing ourselves to improve. And I also hope that outside of the racers, that we receive more support for our sport and that more people get involved.
Ladies and gentlemen, Troy Alberto again finished third in Germany in the International German Motorbike Championship, a podium finish, and obviously we could hope for a lot more coming from this guy.
that's
No,
for
no pressure, huh? No pressure. But thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
today.
Thanks, Troy.
All right, so when we return,
We'll give you an inside look at the preparations of the Army Black Mamba for the upcoming PVL 2022 Invitational Conference. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game.
You're watching The Game. We're days away from the much-awaited opening of the PVL 2022 Invitational Conference. Our PVL insider Sam Corrales caught up with the Army Black Mamba in this latest edition of BTS. Let's watch this.
Everybody, I'm Sam Corrales and welcome to BTS, where we go behind the scenes with your favorite PVL teams. So today, makakasama natin ang Army Lady Troopers para sa kanilang pre-season shoot. So tara and let's see what they're up to today. Ano yung nag-i-inspire sa'yo na magpatuloy dito sa career mo sa PVL?
Kasi sa amin talaga sa Army, kung hanggat kaya mo pa maglaro ka. Yun lang naman yung sa coaches namin. Kung andun pa yung tiwala ng coach sa'yo, go. Kasi wala naman sa Army naman, tuloy-tuloy yung training namin. Kaya hindi kami magdadalawang isip na hindi maglaro. Hanggat kaya pa, laro pa.
And for you, ano yung pinaka-exciting part about being part of the Army? Best thing about your team?
Pina-excite, siyempre manalo. Yun lang naman yun eh. Kaya tayo naglalaro para manalo ng manalo. Kasi hindi lang pa paglalaro na, para din sa Army yung paglalaro namin. Para sa mga sundalo na nagsuporta sa Army.
Para sa bayan talaga. Siyempre, as one of the ates, siyempre may bata ka for sure. Lagi mong kinaguide, ganon, binibigyan ng advice. Sino yun for you, Ate Ging?
Si Esguerra. Kasi gusto ko Esguerra, mamang. Kasi siyempre, middle attacker. Kaya gusto ko lang share sa kanila kung ano yung natutunan ko sa volleyball. And then yun naman sila, parang interesado talaga sila matuto.
3 words to describe the team. 3, 2, 1, go.
Snappy. United.
Galing yan.
United. Tapos umalis.
Bahala ka sa buhay mo.
Papauwi ako na maaga. Hold up to.
Hindi totoo yan.
Kung mahal mong buhay. Siya pa talaga si Gonzalez pag kayo malito. Mag-hi ka sa mga fans ko, Lali. Ay! Sa mga natutulog mong fans, gisingin mo.
Tutulog ako, nagising ako sa mga radyo.
May camera shy pa talaga siya. Tapos hindi po siya bully.
Hindi totoo yan.
Hindi, napakabait na to. Tapos very generous. Very generous pa tong babaeng to. Oo, generous sa pagkain. Halata naman sa katawan. So, mag-hi ka sa anin.
Tapos na nga.
Ay, hindi ko narinig. Alutin mo. Ay, hala, tingnan mo siya. Siya po yung tagabalot ng pero payat pa din. Kasi itong nakikinabang, focus mo to. Ito po nakikinabang sa balutin mo. Siya taga-kuha, siya taga-lunok. Picture na lang tayong tatlo. Dali na. Titigilan, nene, titigilan ko na kayo. Smile. 1, 2, 3. Old age.
So may future na po si Ate Jov as a host and courtside reporter, Char. So, ayun, kamusta experience, Ate Jov?
Actually, gusto ko pa. I want more. Charot lang. Charot lang. Thank you. Kasi kakabalik ko lang sa indoor. Ilang years ako dyan na hindi naglaro sa indoor? 2 years? 1 year? Oo, kasi nag-beach volley ako. So, nakafocus kami sa beach volley. Hindi kami pwede maglaro sa indoor. So, after SEA Games, so ito na nakabalik na ako. Mindset, competition game. 1 game at a time, 1 point at a time, 1 set at a time. Yun talaga yung mindset ko lagi. And at the same time, puro time, no? Charot lang. At the same time, ang mindset ko talaga is makadeliver. And makadeliver para makatulong sa team. Yun talaga. Hindi ako pwede maging liability. So yun yung mindset ko before and during the game.
Galing yan.
So today, meron ka bang minake-upan na yung project mo today? Let's see.
Si Mama. Si Villareal kasi, ayaw niya na masyadong makeup. So, nilagyan ko lang siya ng kilay tsaka blush. Parang kasi, I studied in the States. Tapos, doon ko nag-start try out ng mga different makeups. Tapos, diba, kasi sa States, mahal magpa-hair and makeup.
Yes,
Very expensive. So, ako, pag friends ko, I do it for free.
insider Sam Corrales for tonight's edition of BTS. And Pao, we just can't wait for Jovelyn Gonzaga's return. And of course, yung pagbabalik ng PVL.
Of course, syempre si Jovelyn, she wants to become an inspiration in terms of yung resurgence niya from injury. Kasi alam naman natin na yung mga athletes in general, when someone is injured, the concern is there career-wise, and there's concern is there in terms of what they can do physically. And I have no doubt that si Jove will be able to produce in the level she is. And of course, you mentioned the PVL. At ang galing din ni Sam Corrales.
Oh, nga, I like it.
Sam Corrales, oh my goodness, wherever you are right now.
Debut niya yun eh. Debut niya ba yun?
Hindi naman
Hindi ba?
Pero alam mo, Sam, wherever you are, congratulations on that great job. And Jegs, let's wrap things up here. Excited for the PVL, excited a while ago with Troy. And of course, Gelo, Vito being on the show. Always fun.
And that's all for tonight. Thank you for joining us. I'm Diego Dario.
Catch us weeknights here on One News, One Sports, and One Sports Plus. I'm Paolo Del Rosario, and this has been The Game.